Well, welcome to this class on culture and communication. We're delighted to be here. My wife is with me and will be part of the program as we move along, but we're delighted that you're joining us today and trust that this will be a really great experience for you. The course is intended to be very practical. It's intended to help us in our day-to-day activities, not only with our neighbors who might be of a different culture than we are, or not only if we go into another country, but the course is designed to help us in our marriages. I used to tell my students that the greatest cross-cultural experience you'll ever have is getting married. If you're married, you probably understand what I'm talking about, because there are so many differences that come that you never anticipated. How do you handle those differences? Sometimes they cause conflict, sometimes they cause distance or alienation. Some people go silent when they have difficulty. Other people can talk about them. They try to understand the differences, they try to understand the person, and that helps us to move forward. But also it'll help us to communicate more effectively with the generations. Most of you here look young to me. I know that's a compliment and that's what I see. How do you communicate with the older generation of people? Those are cultural differences if we define culture in the broadest sense. What about your colleagues at work? What about your children now who represent the youngest generation? How are they different from you? How should you communicate with them in such a way that you understand the culture of youth? So this will be the practical nature of the course. It's not going to be highly theoretical with a lot of technical terms and things like that. This is intended to help us today and next week and next year. All countries, all tribes, all ethnic groups either are able to understand each other and therefore live together in peace and harmony, or they fail to understand each other, which often leads us to conflict, even to war, and to these kinds of difficult situations. All usually because of misunderstanding. For example, when your former president, Khrushchev, came to America, he did something which from his culture was a very pleasing thing, a very kind thing. He went like this when he stepped out of the plane, and to the American people, he was like this. And I understand that to be a gesture of friendship. We like you, we want to be friends together. Not so? Mm-hmm. This same gesture in America means we are the winners. We want to be we are victorious over you. You are the losers. And you see how a simple gesture, just this, no words, just this, miscommunicated. And so all the newspapers had Khrushchev victorious or something like that on the front page. And immediately, all the Americans who didn't know thought badly about your president and thought he was coming to lord it over us, to be an oppressor, when of course he was intending friendship and conversation and understanding and peace, all of those things. So quickly things change. So quickly we misinterpret and make negative judgments about the other person. Now, one of the things the Americans didn't do is say, I wonder what this means in Russian culture. We just immediately assumed that we understood. And when we didn't understand this kind of thing, we understood it to be something negative. So then we immediately gave negative thoughts to him. We talked about him negatively. And it was very unfortunate that we did this because it was wrong. Well, this happens in our families as well, not just at the national level, but also at the family level. And so this course is going to help us to understand understand better how to communicate with one another across the generational cultures, across the husband-wife cultures, across the colleague cultures, people we work with, but also across the cultures of nationality and ethnicity. To start with, then, I'd like to read just a passage from the Old Testament prophet Isaiah, because the theme of our time together is how can we serve one another? How can we be servant to our spouses, our older generation, our friends and colleagues around us, to our parents and our children? So from Isaiah 41, this, of course, was written by the prophet to the people of Israel, but the same calling, the same words that he gave to the people of Israel, I think, are appropriate for us. So, Isaiah 41 and verse 9, I took you from the ends of the earth. From its farthest corners I called you. I said, you are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So just two quick points to emphasize here. God calls us to be his servants. Doesn't matter who we are. He doesn't say young or old, this color, this nation or that nation. You, from the ends of the earth, all of us, he has called to be his servants. And then he says that he has chosen us and has not rejected us. I think one of the most destructive, painful words in the English language is the word rejection. Think of it in terms of your past experiences. What have been the most difficult experiences for you in your life? For most people, it's at a time when they were rejected by their friends, by their parents, maybe by their spouse, by their children, you see. God never rejects us. We are his children. He has called us to be his servants. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. So that's a wonderful confidence that we have from God himself, that we are his children, and we are always his children. He will never reject us. So we go forth with that confidence then. Now, how do we enter into this issue of culture, understanding culture? And I want to give you a story, and I'll let you have the story in print as well. It's a parable. It's a parable about a monkey and a fish. And I'll read it out loud and you can follow it on your paper. And then I'm going to ask you some questions about the story. The story is told about a monkey and a fish. It seems a typhoon had temporarily stranded a monkey on an island. In a secure and protected place, and waiting for the raging waters to recede or to diminish, the monkey spotted a fish swimming against the current. It seemed obvious to the monkey that the fish was struggling and in need of assistance. Being of kind heart, the monkey resolved to help the fish. A tree dangled precariously over the very spot where the fish was struggling. At considerable risk to himself, the monkey moved far out on a limb, reached down, and snatched the fish from the threatening waters. Immediately scurrying back to the safety of his shelter, the monkey carefully laid the fish on dry ground. For a few moments the fish showed excitement, but soon settled into a peaceful rest. Joy and satisfaction swelled inside the monkey. He had helped another creature, and he had done it successfully. Okay? Now I want you to tell me about the monkey. What do you think? What do you observe? What about the monkey?
So it seems that monkey is really kind monkey and genuine monkey, wants to really help us or help the fish. We can find ourselves sometimes in the same situation. So we can think, okay, we're really helping the person. And I rarely find, or some people find, in our understanding that we could be wrong. We're always right. So it seems like.
So the monkey had good motivation. He intended kindness. But the question is, how did the fish interpret that? We'll come to that. Olga, take us further.
I think the monkey has his own understanding out of what will be good for another creature. And he tried his best to make someone happy.
Where did the monkey get his understanding of what was best for the fish?
The dry land would be best.
For the monkey, dry land was best. And so he made an assumption, which was, what assumption did the monkey make then?
Put the fish on the dry land.
Then
to be as happy and safe,
then
as the monkey was.
Then the fish will be happy and safe and everything will be fine. So there was an assumption. What's good for me will be good for the monkey. All right?
Absolutely.
Good point. What other observations about the monkey?
The monkey must be brave. He risks his life. So he's not only intended to do good, he even did it. So he's a brave monkey.
We have to give him credit, don't we? He just didn't say, it would be nice if I could do something. I would like to do something. He actually did it. And he put at risk his own life. So brave, courageous, and he took action when he saw the need for action. So there were some wonderful attributes about this monkey, wonderful characteristics. Other observations? How did he interpret the fish when the fish was flopping around and then no longer was flopping around? How did he interpret it? Use the...
Yeah, I actually smiled when I read that. The fish showed excitement. You know, it wasn't really excitement. I guess it was a pre-death thing, you know.
Why did he...
Agony, whatever.
Why did the monkey interpret it as excitement?
Well, because the fish must have been flapping its fins and, you know, doing things that we usually do. I mean, we fly our arms and do stuff like that when we're excited. So that's how the monkey interpreted it. And
then when the fish became quiet and peaceful?
And of course, the fish just slept and it was at peace and at rest. And it didn't dawn on monkey that it might have died.
So even right up to the end, the fish is still interpreting from his frame of reference all of these things. And of course, as a result of what he had done, he interpreted only good from his actions, which is often what we do as well. We do. Now let me ask this question. Suppose the fish could now talk back to the monkey before he entered into this peaceful rest. So what would the fish say to the monkey if he could talk?
Yeah, don't rescue.
Leave me alone, don't rescue me, Vitaly.
It could be said in the public what the fish could say.
We have to, yes.
Yeah, I assume there will be really aggressive reaction, and I would just already immediately think right now of a really relationship between human people. So how the human reacts, so that would be really probably aggressive, depends on the culture and temperament and temper of the person.
We can assume the fish would probably say, "You're stupid. You're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Put me back. Don't do this. Stop it." And be rather aggressive, rather forceful, maybe angry. But now the monkey hears this language coming back at him. How does the monkey feel now hearing all of this negative language?
Ungrateful fish. You know, I risk my life to do the, saving work, and it's ungrateful fish doesn't appreciate what I do.
I think so. So now we got conflict. We got disagreement. We got bad feelings between the monkey and the fish. But it was all started on innocence, failure to understand. The monkey was doing right and good and was courageous and brave. The fish had a right to be upset. And now they start communicating, and all of a sudden things fall apart. This is life. It doesn't matter who the monkey and the fish is. Sometimes we're the monkey. In fact, we're all the monkey at certain times, right? Sometimes we're the fish. This is a parable, but it helps us to understand what happens when we communicate with people and we don't communicate accurately. After a little bit more of an introduction on these things, we're going to see how this works itself out in more detail. And then we're going to move into cultural differences eventually, and into conflict and how different cultures handle conflict. And then finally, towards the end of this course, it will be on what does it mean to be a servant to one another, and we'll take some time on that as well.
We invite you to participate in the International Bible Teaching and Gospel Sharing Project. Whether these Christian expanded educational opportunities will become available to people around the world depends on all of us. We very much need and value your prayer and financial support. For more information, please visit www.tvseminary.com. Now he who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed, and will enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. You will be enriched in every way, so that you can be generous on every occasion, and through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 10-11. How to give to TVS Ministry. You may give online at efca.org/givenow. In the description place, write Russia Distance Learning, account number 24109-0150. Or make checks out to EFCA. Write on the check memo line, Russian Distance Learning, account number 24109-0150. Mail to EFCA Donor Services, 901 East 78th Street, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55420-1300. Or send your gift through PayPal for tvs.gift@gmail.com.